Nice to have you on board. You can always find us at thinkamericaradio.com. Reason first, then converse. We're going to move our conversation now to an interview that I'm happy that I was able to book. It's a very practical thing to say, all right, I got all these New Year's resolutions. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to quit smoking. I'm going to quit illegal drugs. I'm going to quit legal drugs. I'm going to go all vegan or whatever it is. And lose sight of the fact that our financial health is also at stake. Not just mental health, slow down the stress, be nicer to your wife, your husband, whatever, but our financial health. Because many people look at those bills in January after they've swiped the credit card way too often, all fall and into December, and then they go, oh, well, I'll just take a little bit higher on the fees, higher on the interest rate, and they get themselves in trouble, frankly. So I've invited a new friend of mine who's a financial expert. He joins us from Baltimore. He's the CEO of Raskin Global, to take a look at this and to just give us some very practical tips, resolutions to keep us out of debt, saving more money, following a budget, spending less, and if you're living paycheck to paycheck, to try to be a little bit more sober this year as you get more prosperous. Hello, Leonard.
Good evening. How are you?
Nice to have you, sir. All right, people looking at their bills in January, they can't pay them. When they spend, they forget that the tab will come due. They forget that the next day they're going to have to sober up, in other words. Share with us some skills for keeping sober financially in 2017.
Well, the first thing, I think you have to do it. We tell this to everyone that we advise, whether they make $10,000 a year, $100,000 a year, $1 million a year, doesn't matter. You must have a budget. Now, when I say that, people get all freaked out. They think, oh, my God, I have to have a budget. Well, it's not a budget that you have to live and make sure that every penny that you spend is exactly what you say, and you can't spend a penny more. Although if you're in trouble financially, that's certainly a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
But the point is, know where the money is going. There's just too often that, as you said, we'll swipe that credit card, or these days you don't even need to swipe the credit card. You can just tap your phone onto the terminal and you've paid for something.
Right. Good point.
The thing is, we don't get most people don't get cash anymore. Their paycheck is electronically deposited into their checking account.
Mm-hmm. That's a good
From
point.
there, they swipe the card, they go online, they spend the money. They never feel a dollar. It's much harder. Everything about spending money is much harder when you actually have to spend money. Swiping the credit card is just too easy, and when you don't keep control and have a budget of where it's going, it just goes.
And so would you suggest people carry more cash just to feel that greenback, and when they pay $40 for a lunch or something, go, geez, I didn't think it came that high. I could have sacked it. I could have sacked my lunch at work. They will have that mental recognition psychologically to sober up and to spend less.
Spend money, don't charge it.
All right.
If you do charge it, be darn sure that come the end of the month, you have enough to pay for what you spent. The fact of the matter is, as you said, interest rates on credit cards are obscene. And people's balances are growing, and they're paying 15, 18, 20% on credit cards. And we all know when you put money in the bank, they're not paying you that on a deposit. They're paying you nothing.
Yeah, amen to that. I'm so glad you said that. All right, one of the things that I always tried to do, my dad drilled this into my head, is when I get my paycheck, pay myself first. If I am going to save anything, I need to say, okay, let's say the paycheck is $400. I'm going to take $40, whatever the percentage is, whatever, and I'm going to invest it, because the rainy day will come, God willing, when I'm old and crippled and in pamper diapers and Depends or whatever it is, and I am drooling and I need money.
Right.
And
That's right. But a lot of those rainy days come a lot sooner. So one of the things I would agree with you about 80% of what I'm hearing, and that is, yes, you got to pay yourself. You got to put that money away out of the paycheck before you spend on anything. You've got to put dollars away. And your number's really good. You said on $400 to put 40. We want to see people putting 15% of their gross income into something. And if you can't do it today, do 2%. Get up to 4%. When you get a raise, save 50% of the increase and get it up to 10%. Get it to 15% as soon as you can. become a world-class saver, and first and foremost, save. There's a confusion in our country today, and it's been led in mass by financial institutions that would love to have us give them our money and never touch it again. And as you said, that rainy day is going to come, but you know what? That rainy day could come with a new furnace. That rainy day could come with a car repair. And most people don't have $1,000 to pay that bill.
All right, that's so excellent a point. Let me segue to this idea. People say, don't live paycheck to paycheck. But, Leonard, half of America is living paycheck to paycheck because our economy is flatlined. They almost can't help it. It is the way it is. So how do you give the advice, don't live paycheck to paycheck, when that's all they have, paycheck to paycheck?
Yeah, it's very difficult. Depending upon your socioeconomic situation, it is absolutely difficult. But you've got to start somewhere, and some of that starting might be when we say they're living paycheck to paycheck. Without that budget, sometimes you don't know where that paycheck is going. I see people that sometimes they'll say to me, well, we don't have any extra. We don't know how we can save any extra. I say, okay, let's itemize your spending. Let's look at where the money's going. And it's $200 a month for the cell phone bill. It's $200 a month or $150 a month for the cable bill. I'll say, what are you watching? you got to make decisions, and these decisions have to be practical. They're spending money on restaurants. They're spending money on.
You know where I think
food.
people really spend money and they don't have to is retail shopping. You can go to fabulous secondhand stores in big metropolitan cities. They really have them, and get slightly used clothing for a fraction of what the big box retailers are asking.
Yeah, but you got to be willing to do that.
Right.
This is America, and people are watching TV, and we have this show, Keeping Up with the Family. You know, you got to keep up with the family, and you see what the family's wearing. You got to have that. You know, there's a big difference. If we just go to the store, go to any of your cell phone companies today, right? We can buy I don't know if we want to use these names and give these guys commercials, but if you go out and buy the latest, greatest cell phone that exists today, you're going to spend $700 for that phone. A year and a half from now, they're going to come out with a new model that's $800, and the model that is the old one is $1. Wait 2 years. Get the dollar phone. What do you need the $800 phone?
Well, you make such good sense. But in the time that we have left, I want to segue to, what is your philosophy when so many people do buy the $700 phone and then they have to go on food stamps? Where are we going in 2017 for the whole nation to sober up, get more jobs, get more free market enterprise, so people don't feel like, well, you know, I can buy the cell phone because I'm hip and cool, but then somebody's going to take care of me on food stamps?
The bottom line there is that the government programs are a must, and they're a must for, I would say, people that need them, and that's very few, a lot less than are actually taking advantage of them. We have to become much more rigorous as a country to say, you know what, it is a safety net. It's not a hammock. You can't live this way. And the problem is, in some cities and some states, there are programs where it's almost more financially beneficial to take the free rather than to go work and earn an income. That's got to stop. We've got to encourage people and make people work, get out there, find great jobs. There are jobs to be had all over the place, and the way you do that is by minimizing subsidy, not encouraging. A subsidy says, I'll keep making this money for this. I'll just keep doing it.
Well, yeah, and, you know, therein lies the personal discipline, too, as you well know, Leonard, because when someone gets a job, they go, oh, well, now I've got more money, so I can go have that $40 lunch again.
Well,
you know, so the
temptation. We think we deserve it.
I know.
We deserve it all the time. We've got to say, you know what? I was doing fine before on less. I can do fine right now. And there's a great talk. It's about saving for tomorrow. So you start, as I said, you start with 2%. You get to 5%. You earn enough to put away a little more. You just have to realize that your life isn't keeping up with the families, and you can't spend that kind of money. And the only way to do that, I guess, from a governmental standpoint, is to say we're not going to pay forever. We're going to cut these payments off. You only have them for a certain amount of time. And if you don't get on your own after that, somebody's got to cut that rope. And when that rope gets cut, guess what? I think people don't choose to starve. They'll choose to work.
Well, yeah, they will. I mean, when you start cutting off the, as they say, the tit that goes to the milk of the bosom, that's an old term.
Yeah.
Then they go, well, where is my milk? Blah, 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 blah. So you got to go out and milk the cow for yourself, maybe.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
If you catch them on my drive. That's an old saying, but it's so true. When no one is there, with the safety net catching you, you got to sort of figure it out. But I do have hope for a new day in America, 2017, getting jobs going, cutting out some of the excessive spending. And that goes not just with social programs, it goes with the military. And I mean, my goodness, the nation is in debt. Yeah. Leonard, there's our music. We need to wrap it up. But I'd like to have you back and talk about government spending and the largesse of government another time here on Think America Radio. Will you do it?
Be my pleasure.
All right. Happy New Year there in Baltimore, and we'll catch you later. I'm Terry Gilberg. Think America. Reason first, then converse. Be right back.